Hello everyone. Welcome to English Storybook YouTube channel. Today we are going to learn a love story about Titanic ship. Learn, enjoy, and stay with us for upcoming beautiful stories. For the best practices, you are kindly requested to imitate the sentences after me. Let's start the story. Unsinkable Love Story. The Ship of Dreams. RMS Titanic. Chapter 1. Royal Mail Ship. RMS Titanic. The year was 1912. The RMS Titanic was the largest ship in the world. People called it the Unsinkable Ship. It was a marvel of engineering. It was tall and grand. It had 4 massive funnels. It looked like a floating palace. In April 1912, it set sail from England to New York. On this ship, there were 2 different passenger classes. One was first class. It was for rich people. The other was third class, for the poor people. The ship sat in the harbor at Southampton. Thousands of people gathered to watch it leave. Some people were very rich. They had tickets for first class. They wore fine silk and heavy jewelry. Other people were poor. They had tickets for third class. They were looking for a new life in America. Chapter 2. 2 Different Worlds. Rose DeWitt Bucater was a young woman of high class. She boarded the ship with her mother, Ruth, and her fiancé, Cal Hockley. Rose was beautiful. She wore expensive dresses. She lived in luxury. But Rose was unhappy. She felt trapped by her life. Her mother was forcing her to marry Cal for money. Cal was wealthy but arrogant. He treated Rose like an object. To Rose, the Titanic felt like a giant cage. Jack Dawson was different. He was a poor artist from Wisconsin. He had no money. He had no home. He won his ticket for the Titanic in a lucky game of cards. Jack was full of life. He carried a sketchbook and a pencil. He saw beauty in everything. He lived for the moment. He boarded the ship with his friend, Fabrizio. He felt like the luckiest man in the world. Chapter 3. The First Meeting. One night, Rose felt very desperate. She ran to the back of the ship. She looked at the dark water. She wanted to jump. She wanted the pain to stop. Jack was lying on a bench nearby. He saw her. He did not judge her. He spoke to her calmly. He told her the water would be freezing. He told her it would feel like 1,000 knives stabbing her body. He convinced her to step back from the edge. But Rose slipped. She screamed. Jack caught her hand. He pulled her back to safety. Cal and the guards arrived. They thought Jack was bothering her. Rose lied to protect him. She said she wanted to see the propellers. She said Jack saved her from falling. Cal was not happy, but he invited Jack to dinner. This was the start of their story. Chapter 4. The 2 Parties. That night, Jack went to the first-class dining room. He wore a borrowed suit. He looked like a gentleman. He sat with the rich people. They talked about business and power. Jack spoke about his philosophy. He said, "Make each day count." Rose was impressed. After dinner, Jack took Rose to third class. There was a big party. People were playing fiddles. People were dancing and drinking beer. It was loud and happy. Rose danced with Jack. She spun around and around. She felt alive. For the first time, she forgot about her mother and Cal. She was just Rose. Chapter 5. Unforgettable Romance. The next day, Jack and Rose spent time together. Jack showed Rose his sketchbook. He drew people he saw in the streets. His drawings were full of emotion. Rose was impressed. She loved his talent. She loved how he saw the world. He told her that life is a gift. He said he did not want to waste it. They walked on the deck. Jack taught Rose how to spit like a man. They laughed together. Rose felt like a real person when she was with him. She was no longer a doll in a fancy dress. However, Rose's mother was angry. She told Rose to stay away from Jack. She reminded Rose that they were poor. They needed Cal's money. Rose felt the pressure of her family. She tried to ignore Jack. But her heart told her something else. She realized she loved him. Jack found Rose again. He told her he couldn't leave her. He said she was the most amazing person he had ever met. Rose decided to choose him. She chose life over money. She chose love over safety. Chapter 6. The Art of Drawing. Rose asked Jack to draw her. She wanted him to draw her wearing only a necklace. The necklace was called the Heart of the Ocean. It was a large blue diamond. Cal had given it to her. Jack agreed. He was a professional. He looked at her as an artist. The room was quiet. The only sound was the pencil on the paper. It was a moment of pure trust. They were in their own world. They didn't care about the ship or the rules. After the drawing was finished, they had to run. Cal's servant was looking for them. They ran through the ship. They went down into the cargo hold. They found a car. They hid inside it. They shared their first kiss. It was a beautiful moment. They promised to stay together. They planned to leave the ship together in New York. They were happy. They did not know what was coming. Chapter 7. The Iceberg. The night of April 14 was very cold. The sea was very flat. There were no waves. This made it hard to see icebergs. The lookouts were watching the dark horizon. At 11:40 p.m., the lookouts suddenly saw it. A giant mountain of ice was right in front of them. The crew tried to turn the ship. They tried to stop the engines, but the Titanic was too big. It moved too fast. The iceberg hit the side of the ship. It made a long scrap. Water began to pour in. At first, the passengers did not know. Many were sleeping. But the ship's designer, Thomas Andrews, knew the truth. He looked at the maps. He saw the damage. He told the captain the truth. The Titanic was going to sink. There was no way to stop it. Chapter 8. Chaos on the Water. There were not enough lifeboats for everyone. The ship had over 2,000 people. The boats could only hold half. The crew began to lower the boats. They said, "Women and children first." Cal tried to get Rose on a boat. Rose saw Jack standing on the deck. She knew Jack could not get on. The men were being left behind. As her boat was lowered, Rose looked at Jack. She could not leave him. She jumped back onto the ship. Jack ran to her. He asked her why she did it. Rose said, "You jump, I jump, remember? They were together, but the ship was dying." Chapter 9. The Final Moments. The Titanic began to tilt. The back of the ship rose high into the air. The lights flickered and went out. The great ship snapped in half. It was a terrible sound. Then, the ship slid into the dark, cold water. Jack and Rose were in the water. It was 28 degrees Fahrenheit. The water was deadly. Jack found a wooden door floating in the sea. He helped Rose climb onto it. But the door was small. If Jack climbed up, it would flip. Jack stayed in the water. He held Rose's hands. He told her she must survive. He told her she would grow old. He told her she would have many babies. He made her promise to never give up. Chapter 10. The Rescue. The lifeboats stayed far away. They were afraid the drowning people would flip them. Finally, one boat came back. The officer called out into the dark. Rose woke up. She called Jack's name. She pulled his hands. But Jack did not move. He was gone. He had frozen to death to save her. Rose cried. She wanted to stay with him. But she remembered her promise. She let go of Jack's hand. She watched him sink into the deep blue sea. She swam to a dead sailor. She used his whistle to call for help. The lifeboat heard her. They pulled her out of the water. She was safe. It has suffered from many bleaching events because the water is too warm. The Australian government is working to stop pollution from reaching the water. Chapter on Beer. Unsinkable Memories of Love. Rose went to New York. When the officer asked for her name, she did not say Rose DeWitt Bukater. She said her name was Rose Dawson. She took Jack's name. She lived the life Jack wanted for her. She became an actress. She rode horses. She flew planes. She traveled the world. She lived a long, full life. Many years later, Rose was an old woman. She went back to the spot where the ship sank. She had a blue diamond necklace. Cal had given it to her. She never sold it. She walked to the edge of the boat. She dropped the diamond into the ocean. It was her final gift to Jack. That night, Rose went to sleep. In her dreams, she was young again. She was back on the Titanic. The ship was beautiful and bright. All the people who died were there. Jack was standing by the clock. He turned and smiled. Rose ran to him. They kissed. They were finally home. Chapter 12. Final Reflections. The story of Jack and Rose is more than a romance. It is a story about the human spirit. It shows that love can break down walls. It shows that one person can change your life forever. Jack saved Rose in every way a person can be saved. He did not just save her from the water. He saved her from a life she hated. The Titanic wreck remains at the bottom of the sea. It is a memorial to those who were lost. But the story of the artist and the girl who wanted to be free lives on. It reminds us to make every day count. It reminds us that the heart's memories never truly sink.